wonderful evening in Miami, Florida, as the Hawks and the Heat get set to battle in Game 6. Game 5 Wednesday saw the Hawks jump all over the Heat and take a 3-2 series lead in Atlanta. Now we're back in South Florida for this physical, chippy series. Can the Hawks close it out tonight, or will there be a Game 7? Find out coming up next. The American Airlines Arena, home to Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat. He says his back is fine. No excuses tonight as we get set for Game 6. The Eastern Conference two series still going on. Of course, the classic between the Bulls and the Celtics, and this one could also go to a 7th game, which would be Sunday in Atlanta. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. Along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Green on hand. It has been a very physical series, but none of the games have been close, all decided by double figures. Hopefully we'll get a close one here tonight. In terms of what's the key for the game, we know who the key players are, but Mark, what's the key ingredient for Miami to win?
Well, an old coach once told me intensity plus poise. Play hard, but also play smart. Give Miami a chance to see a Game 7 in Atlanta.
Jeff, Atlanta?
Well, I think they have to have a mature approach. Don't rely on a Game 7 at home. Give yourself a chance to win here tonight.
They've already won here in the series. That was in Game 1 as we look at the starting lineups. And lineups are critical because of all the injuries. And first for the Atlanta Hawks, Solomon Jones getting his first start of the season because Al Horford with that sprained ankle. Horford is suited up. He may play, but not the starting lineup. Meanwhile, for the Heat, their starting center, Joel Anthony. Jermaine O'Neal suffered a concussion in Game 5, and he will not play at all. So Anthony, who has started a bunch of games during the regular season, he'll get the opportunity here in the playoffs. And we're set to go here. The crowd continues to file in. As we said, it has been a very physical series. An ugly series at times. There's been some technicals, some flagrants, some words back and forth, and no close games. And the Heat fans already fired up. The rookie, Mario Chalmers' shot won't go. And Solomon Jones the rebound. Jones, it's his 8th career start. It's only his 3rd year in the NBA. He's done some nice job as a backup. A little different pressure, Mark, in terms of starting a playoff game.
Oh, absolutely. It's a different story. Looking to set the tone early on. The bottom line is just trust your game.
Josh Smith, who's been their leading scorer on this fire, so Udonis Haslem the rebound. Good defense that time from the Heat, and that was the big problem in Game 5. Both Eric Spoelstra and a number of players said, Jeff, that the Heat's defense was inexcusable as Wade misses. Anthony right there, and he puts it back up and in.
Exactly. They were getting beat off the dribble, and I like what we just saw from Dwayne Wade. They switched the pick and roll. He didn't give Josh Smith too much credit and shoot a contested jumper. He drove it to the rim, missed, but that's what led to a second shot.
That's Joel Anthony's first field goal of this series. He has not played a lot. Solomon Jones banks it in. And how about this duel of Solomon Jones and Joel Anthony?
Well, they're doing exactly what's expected of them. They're going to find themselves, if they work hard, put themselves in positions to dominate the board, they're going to get good shots.
Do you think they did like A-Rod and tipped each other off and gave each other a hoop?
Both players, though, are certainly hungry to be out there. Both, when they get their opportunities, play so hard. As James Jones got hit, Joe Johnson hit him, and Jones will go to the free throw line for 3 free throws. And for the first time tonight, let's welcome in Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Hey, Mike. Things changing moment by moment for the Atlanta Hawks. Marvin Williams and Al Horford both expected to be out tonight. Marvin Williams said to his coach at the hotel this afternoon, Coach, if I can shoot it at all, I will give it a go with that sprained right wrist. When I spoke to him moments ago, he said, listen, it hurts a lot. I can barely bend it, but if they need me, I'm going to try to give it a shot. Al Horford, when I spoke to him moments ago, he said, listen, it's pretty sore. The expectation for him, guys, is his minutes will be determined tonight in short spurts based on whether or not they believe he can get them over the hump. So we'll see how much they go, guys.
And it's certainly a tough choice coming into tonight.
And actually, Al Horford was out early going through the drills with the big guys. If I'm the Atlanta Hawks, I say, hey, big fella, take the night off. Worst case scenario, we'll have you at full strength in Game 7.
So quick 5 points, courtesy of the free throws from Jones. There's Johnson. Finally broke out, had 25 points in Game 5 and picks up his second foul. And look who drew the charge, Joel Anthony. Johnson's going to have to sit down.
You're talking about putting a guy in for his defensive presence, also the ability to bang the boards. Does a good job of stepping in, sacrificing his body, and taking a hit, forcing Joe Johnson to the bench.
So Anthony already contributing off the bench and sending the all-star guard for Atlanta, who has just not been able to get it going all that much, although there's a lot of ugly numbers in this series. Neither team is averaging 90 points a game. They're both just under 90 as Wade knocks down the jumper. Flip Murray quickly in. Murray, one of the better 6 men in the NBA this year. Johnson will sit for a while. Mo Evans rattles it in.
And that was a great signing. To me, they had two big-time signings. Mo Evans and Flip Murray. I think they've given them good offense and creativity, particularly Flip Murray, the ability to his own shot.
Both of those guys have given them experience off the bench, too.
Wade misses that one. Ball tipped and taken by Atlanta. Here comes Bibby. Bibby, of course, has played in so many playoff games. He was a clutch playoff performer for Sacramento for a number of years. Steps back, puts up the three, nails it. And Atlanta takes the lead. We actually have a lead change, which doesn't happen too often in this series.
What I really like watching Atlanta early on, extra passes, guys looking to make plays for one another. You don't want to try to do too much in a closeout game.
Wade looking, really left his feet that time. Jones able to put it in. James Jones to start. Hit those free throws and then a three-pointer. The Heat need to give Dwayne Wade some offensive help in the worst way, especially without Jermaine O'Neal, as Bibby fires it out to Flip Murray. Evans on the drive. Won't go, ball tip. Nearly put in by Smith. Connors to Jones, fires again. And Bibby off to the races. Alley up to Smith. Not a smart pass that time. Wade steps up for three.
I don't like that shot to Dwayne Wade. To me, Flip Murray is on him. He goes to the hole and attacks Solomon Jones and gets to the free throw line.
Massive defense. Again, that was the main concern. Eric Spoelstra said guarding guys one-on-one. Forget about getting help. Take some pride in guarding one-on-one. Haslam guarding, and he commits the foul. Basket will not count on Smith. Mike Woodson wanted a continuation. You know, we mentioned how this series hasn't been close. We mentioned how there's not been many lead changes. Look at that. And look at the scores. The closest game, or in terms of the lead, 18. And some big leads for Miami. Again, a lot of the games have been blowouts. All games decided by double figures, and there has not been a lead change after the first quarter the entire series. That is so unusual.
Well, and that's where I think Miami really misses Jamario Moon. They're battling a lot of injuries as well. Everyone knows as an illegal screen set by Haslam. Everyone's talking about Marvin Williams and Horford, but Jamario Moon, Luther Head, and now Jermaine O'Neal. It's banged up teams on both sides.
So Haslam trying to plead his case was picked up too. So a couple of key starters. It's the last thing you need in a game where you already have a number of guys down. As you mentioned, Moon and Jermaine O'Neal from Miami. We'll wait to see as Michael Beasley comes in whether or not Marvin Williams and Al Horford will play.
I think if you're Eric Spoelstra, you want a big game from your young fella in Michael Beasley. A high-scoring, explosive guy. He has to look to carry it out.
Pretty pass from Bibby. And Solomon Jones throws it down.
And Beasley just made his first mistake. Poor, slow rotation to help his man, the big man, who was Joel Anthony, who was helping on the shooter.
Prove it. Prove it to every single guy in that locker room. We have to prove that we can take our intensity up to the necessary level. And we've had it for stretches in the series, and it's been good for us. And it wasn't at the appropriate level last game. And tonight's about this opportunity to prove it to each other.
And we asked him about Dwayne Wade in terms of the back, and he says, you know what? No back. He can do whatever he can. Capable of tonight. He can have an MVP performance. Wade didn't want to talk about the back at all today, which has hampered him a little bit, and that's the right way to go.
Yeah, to me, far too many excuses have been made so far. If you're on the floor, you're healthy. Everybody's banged up at this time of the year. Dwayne Wade needs no excuses. He's that good.
Wade also saying he hopes his teammates come out angry. Said he wanted to talk to a lot of the younger guys to tell them in a playoff series, hey, every game is different. Don't get too down. If you had a bad game in Game 5, don't worry. You can turn it around in Game 6, trying to keep the young guys from not getting too down or getting too giddy after a win.
And a lot of times, young fellas, when the pressure rises, they think too much. The message is just go out, trust your game, and play basketball.
Bibby kicks it out. Evans open for three. It's the top of the backboard. Thomas quickly. Good transition defense by the Hawks. Jones again. Another three. James Jones, 9 points here in the first quarter.
Think about it. Michael Beasley, one-on-one with Mike Bibby, doesn't go into his own bag and trip. Cross-court, crisp pass to the shoot.
And once again, a double-digit lead in the first quarter. Happens pretty much every game of this series. As Josh Smith throws up a rainbow, won't go.
If you're defending Josh Smith, that's exactly the shot you want him to take. You want to give him space so he can't attack you off the dribble.
Wade misses. Wade again. Wade this time puts it in. A 14-2 run. And Marvin Williams has gotten off the bench for Atlanta. He's missed the last 3 games with that wrist injury. And after this timeout, Williams, a key component for the Hawks' success, will be on the floor. But right now, it's all Miami Heat.
Dwayne Wade, excellent job crossing over. If you can do this with a bad back, give me a bad back, please.
Murray's obviously a good scorer off the bench, but they need Joe Johnson defensively as much as at the other end, Jeff.
Well, and I also think their pick and roll schemes right now, they're a bit confused. And give Joel Anthony credit. He is setting very good screens, which gives Wade the running start to be able to attack the big one.
You know, you hear people talk about basketball intangibles all the time. Well, there's an intangible right there what Joel Anthony's doing to set up Wade.
And I actually questioned starting him over Beasley initially. But once the game started, I understood why Eric Spoelstra went with Anthony. He is doing everything that allows you to prosper early in ball games. On the offensive end, solid screens, defensively, helping and rebounding.
And Wade hits another free throw, 6 for 6. Joel Anthony has been a big part of it. It's his second year out of UNLV. He's a Canadian, born and raised in Montreal. Wasn't drafted, though, out of UNLV back in 2007. Signed as a free agent with Miami. And as we mentioned, he started 28 games this year during the regular season, many before Jermaine O'Neal was acquired. Bibby, count it, and a foul. What a tough shot from Mike Bibby. Bibby angry right now.
Mike Bibby, known as a spot-up shooter, not known as a guy to put the ball on the floor and put the pressure on your defense, but that time does exactly that, takes the contact from Beasley, gets the basket.
This is the first free throw attempt of Atlanta. Hawks are not a good free throw shooting team. They're not during the course of the regular season. Wade, air ball. He thought he was hit. Here comes Smith. Smith getting the boos from the Miami crowd. That's because of that dunk late in Game 5 that was the topic of conversation. And Smith shuffles his feet, and that's already 5 turnovers for Atlanta.
And if I'm Mike Woodson, you got to send a message to Josh Smith. This is not winning basketball. That's 1-on-5. Get the ball into the hands of my point guard and run offense.
And Josh Smith tried to apologize, I believe, before the game to Eric Spoelstra, which, to me, much ado about nothing as an offensive foul is called against Daquan Cook. To me, it's overhyped right now that Josh Smith meant disrespect to Miami with that dunk attempt.
It was with about 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. It was a 20-point game, trying to put it between his legs and throw it down. And some of the words coming out of Miami were they were insulted by it, they were embarrassed by it. Even Mike Woodson said that, he kind of went over the line. That was out of order as Bibby throws it away.
But Mike, I agree with Coach. I'm also thinking that it's blown out of proportion. What would be different if he tried a 360 dunk? The same exact thing. The bottom line, if I'm the Miami Heat, is about we got beat and we need to handle our business to give ourselves a chance to go back to Game 7.
Well, to give credit to Eric Spoelstra, he said, yeah, he thought it was a bit of something, but he goes, you know what? We put ourselves in a position to have that happen to us, so Spoelstra handled it very well. Beasley on the drive, on the pull-up. Ball nearly tipped by Wade. Bibby ahead to Smith, gets inside and draws the foul. Cook did a good job stopping him. And Smith will go to the line. Here's the play we're talking about. Game 5, about 4 minutes to go. He missed it, obviously. But some people upset at that time saying they shouldn't do it.
The same people that were upset about him attempting that dunk. This guy would have led SportsCenter. People would be talking about, oh, did you see it?
But you have to admit, if you're on the other team, your number one thing is that you're upset that you're not playing well, you get beat. But there is such a thing as sportsmanship.
No, listen, if you're Josh Smith, you did the wrong thing. But to try to drum up some false motivation that it's insulting. No, what was insulting by Miami was their lack of good play in that game. That is where you derive your motivation. Also, you're going to be eliminated if you lose another game. So to me, as Mark said, hey, we all promote plays like that in our basketball culture now. So let's not be shocked when we highlight these plays that young guys try to do these plays.
Well, Smith, again, right before tip-off, he was out on the court, went over and said something to Eric Spoelstra. Obviously, we don't know what he said to Spoelstra, but I'm betting that you were correct on that, Jeff.
I hope he said, if we're up 20 again, I'm going to try it one more time.
I totally agree. You don't owe Eric Spoelstra an apology.
And I don't think Eric wanted one. Get away from me. I'm concentrating on the game.
Right now, his team concentrating, and they're up by a dozen as the shot clock is turned off to end the first quarter.
And by the way, this Mario West is guarding Wade right now. He can guard.
Well, he showed that at the end of the second quarter of Game 5. He stopped Wade and celebrated quite a bit. Wade, that time, drops it in, and it's up to 14. West at the buzzer, and that'll be short. As Wayne Wade scores the last 10 points for the Miami Heat, and has 14 here in the first quarter.
And you better believe Dwayne Wade is looking to send a message early in this ball game. Getting it going offensively, in transition, grown man move.
I knew you'd have to withstand an early run from Miami, but what most disturbed you about that first quarter, Coach?
We had no kind of defensive intensity at all. I mean, our last game in here, we came out, we established ourselves on the defensive end, and they're the aggressive team right now. We got to get more aggressive and get ourselves back into the game.
As that quarter ended, you went over to Josh Smith and had a word for him. What did you say?
Well, I mean, our switches were, he's switching too far back. So he's got to move up and guard the ball. Wade's on a nice roll. We got to try to slow that down a little bit.
Coach, thank you. Mike.
All right, Doris, and here's that word that Mike Woodson had with Josh Smith. Obviously not happy with the defense. Both coaches, different huddles after that first period.
That's great poise, okay? We are on the attack, but we got poise. That's a hell of a look.
Got to get down and dirty, and we're not doing that. Hey, look, you won 2 games based on your defensive effort, and I don't see it tonight. We're trying to close the game out. Now, let's go.
Well, we asked Mike Woodson earlier today, what's the key for his team in terms of what they need to do basketball-wise? He said, well, We lose when we start games poorly defensively, and that's exactly what has happened here in Game 6.
But see, that's a lack of maturity. That's a straight lack of maturity. You got to know who you are and how you win. And you can't say what's going to win until you know what loses. And bad defense is a losing proposition.
Meanwhile, Joe Johnson back in, picked up those 2 quick fouls, hardly played in the first quarter, just 3 minutes, and then he sat. Jamal McGlore's come on for Miami. Beasley, nice move, can't finish. McGlore the rebound, and a loose ball foul is going to go against Pachulia. And that's going to be his second. So Pachulia with 2, and Joe Johnson with 2.
I want to see Pachulia and McGlure go at it. If there's not an altercation in 3 minutes, I'll be surprised.
Pachulia is their, whatever cliche you want to use, their lunch-pail guy, blue-collar, dirty work. Daquan Cook hits a 3. And the Heat 4 of 7 from downtown.
A part of putting yourself in a position to win ball games, executing your strategy, your defensive game plan. Right now, there are too many breakdowns for the Atlanta Hawks on the defensive end.
Marvin Williams, Wade, I think, got a piece of it. As the lead is ballooned to 17. McGlure, and there you go, Jeff. He just knocks Pachulia down, but Pachulia runs right by him. On a hard screen offensive foul on McGlure. Stop predicting bad things.
No, but see, that's not a good play. You're on a good run. You don't just run over a guy.
I totally agree. Things are going well. You have the best player on the floor with the ball in his hands. Let him make a play.
McGlure signed as a free agent this year. When Jermaine O'Neal was acquired, certainly didn't play as much, but no O'Neal tonight. Johnson. Cook very aggressive defensively. Johnson up and under. Pretty move and gets the roll. Joe Johnson again way below his normal scoring from the regular season, averaging just 16 a game in this series, shooting 38%. And that's after a very strong game 5. Smith knocks it off the foot of himself, I guess. And they'll take it out of bounds. And there you see, huge drop for Johnson, and they need him. He is their all-star.
And I like what Eric Spoelstra is doing. He's going to Michael Beasley when Beasley's in the game because that's what he does best. Give him the ball, get out of his way, and let him go to work.
Wade spinning. Oh, pretty move. Evans got a piece of it. And it's still going to be Miami ball with 2 left on the 24. Well, Evans, an experienced player in the playoffs with a bunch of different teams. Quickly on the inbounds, the Heat turn it over. 15-point Miami lead, opening minutes here in the second.
That last possession is the type of defense that's going to allow the Hawks to get back into the game. Can't give up on plays. The effort by Mo Evans, not giving up easy looks to Dwayne Wade.
Evans wants to get it to Joe Johnson. Cook, again, very aggressive, right up on him. Another one of the young players for the Miami Heat. Shot clock at 2. It's going to be a 24-second violation. Excellent Miami Heat defense. And that's already 7 Atlanta turnovers. They're only averaging 12 in the series, 12 a game.
And it's not about one guy defending. Cook did his job forcing Joe Johnson out, but how about the help defense by Jamal McGlure? Coming over and then doing multiple things, getting back to his own man.
Jeff, you always say, as Daquan Cook knocks it down, the team that loses the previous game is always the more desperate team, the hungrier team. Boy, is that a case in point here tonight.
It is that way, but it shouldn't be that way. There should be equal hunger and desperation if you want to move on and try to do damage in the next round if you're Atlanta.
Cook, excellent defense again. Johnson on the pull-up, draws the foul and count it. Boy, Cook played him so well, but Johnson stayed with the play as Cook picks up his personal. And that's number, I believe that's 3 already on Cook. And there that reach in, there's the foul. Meanwhile, Dwayne Wade just went back to the Heat locker room. Don't know if it's for anything for stretching or maybe just a bathroom break. You never can tell.
And this is a different lineup. Miami has not played Michael Beasley at the 3 very often. And James Jones at the 2 guarding Joe Johnson is not a good matchup.
Atlanta now 1 of 4 from the free throw line. No athletic trainers or medical staff went back with Wade, so it's probably just those quick breaks. Beasley across the lane, misses, gets it back and hooks it in.
And I like what he's doing, not settling for jump shots, putting the ball on the floor and making aggressive moves.
Smith gets in, Pachulia. Beasley tracks it down, lost it out of bounds. Mike Woodson is hot. He felt that Pachulia got fouled on the shot attempt. It's going to be Atlanta ball with a new 24. Pachulia yelling at McGlure. And I think we might have a double technical on Pachulia and McGlure. Timeout right now. We'll tell you the details when we come back.
Big-time players have to come up big when it matters most. The ability to stop and change direction. Little Barry Sanders on the basketball floor and then attack the body. Once you have the big guy trailing, good job getting to the free throw line. How about fundamentally sound, squaring? This is something Eric Spoelstra as a young assistant worked with Dwayne Wade time and time again. Fundamentally sound. And how about 3 guys in transition? 1 behind, 1 to the right, 1 in front. This is a game of angles. Attack the body and then explode to the rim. Dwayne Wade putting on a clinic.
Meanwhile, as we said, Pachulia and McGlure each with double technicals. You don't shoot on those, but they're both 1 away from being automatically ejected. They're still guarding each other. They're kind of squawking at each other, grabbing at each other. Johnson double. Smith wide open. Can't get it to fall. Beasley the rebound. Beasley not only scoring, but rebounding as well. 6 and 6.
One thing, we can fall in love with all of the things that the Heat are doing well early in this ballgame. Eric Spoelstra has had outstanding play from every big guy in this first half.
He's still playing well. You saw Wade come back from the locker room. He's okay. Beasley, the jump shot won't go. Smith out of control, but gets it to Evans. Flip Murray throws it to the bench. Sloppy play from Atlanta. 8 turnovers.
Coach, I know you love that. That was Jamal McGlure chasing Flip Murray off that spot.
Hey, Jamal McGlure is one of those guys in this league that's aged well. Meaning he's accepting. He was once an all-star. Now he's accepting he's a role player and is not going to be someone you throw the ball into the low post. You defend in the manner that you just spoke about it. Helping in any way he can to try to help get wins.
McGlure's now 30 years old. Beasley blocked by Smith. Throws it back. Johnson a hit to Bibby. Oh, what a pass from Johnson. And Atlanta able to put it in. First, the great defensive play. And then a gorgeous feed from Joe Johnson. Smith, an excellent shot blocker. Chalmers. Julia picks him up on the switch. Shot clock at 5. Jump shot won't go. Smith ahead to Pachulia. The big guy lumbers across the lane on a hard foul from Haslam. And Haslam has 3 personals.
Well, that's just great help defense by Josh Smith. He's so good, and a nice find by Joe Johnson. He's so good coming from the weak side. Great timing.
Here in this series, leads the team in scoring and blocks and steals. Second in rebounds as Pachulia goes to the line.
And I didn't like the foul by Udonis Haslam. You have 2, and you're undermanned with Jermaine O'Neal being out.
They have another free throw coming. Everybody who's battling for the rebound after the first miss. 2 shots, guys. You don't see that very often. Haslam, meanwhile, staying in the game with those 3 fouls. And you see Pachulia last year, he was banged up. Didn't have a great season this year. He's been really solid coming off the bench. He's had an 18-rebound game already in this series. As he hits the second. 14-point game coming up on 5 minutes gone by second quarter. And Eric Spoelstra wants a timeout. Miami Miami Heat defense has been strong, holding the Hawks to 38% shooting and forcing 8 turnovers here in South Florida. Back in Miami, where the Heat here in Game 6 trying to avoid elimination, lead by 14. Atlanta having their problems, and Mike Woodson not sounding very happy in his huddles.
We cannot get disconnected on these guys coming off shooting. We got to stay in their footsteps. Hell, y'all not getting good looks. You can't give them good looks. We got to chip away one possession at a time. Let's go.
Yeah, he was saying closeout games are the toughest. You can lose a little bit. We talked about this a little bit. You lose a little bit of your mental edge knowing you have a Game 7 on your own floor. This is a different Hawks team than what we saw the way they came out of the gates in Game 5 with such a strong performance.
Especially with a young team, you lose your edge. This is a team that had some battles last year during the course of the postseason. They should understand when you have an opportunity to close out a game, you have to be ready.
They're one of the youngest teams in the NBA. As Wade fakes, Wade inside. Smith did a nice job defensively going straight up. There was some contact. Spoelstra thought they should have been a foul. Johnson now with Chalmers on in. Gets to the Smith. Outside Evans. Evans flips it up. That won't go. And Beasley with yet another rebound. He's got 7 boards here in the first half.
You can tell Eric Spoelstra and his staff, they're not going to allow Joe Johnson to play one-on-one offense. As soon as he puts the ball on the floor and looks to make a move, they are attacking him with a double.
Evans commits the foul. Wade doesn't get it to go, but he'll go right back to the line. 6 for 6 already from there.
And that's what you have to do if you're a great scorer, is earn your way to the free throw line. And defensively, against great scorers, you've got to do 2 things. You've got to take away layups, and you have to take away free throws. You just have to, no matter how you do it. I think sometimes against great players, you're trying so hard that you're fouling them with this intensity, but it works against you. 8 free throws already, not good enough if you're Atlanta.
It's another. He's perfect from the line. Tweet, retweet, at reply. What does it all mean? The NBA's on Twitter. And real-time stats, scores, and insider access from the NBA playoffs at twitter.com/NBA. He gets to the line as well as anybody. Second in the NBA this year in free throws made and attempted during the regular season. Only Dwight Howard took more.
He's the type of guy you almost want to see him make his first jump shot and hoping he falls in love with that aspect of his game versus putting up the ball on the floor and attacking the rim.
They're 11 for 11 from the line. The Hawks are 2 for 6. Joe Johnson can't get it to go. Pachulia, nice job tipping it out. Smith has really struggled from downtown. Misses that one. Evans tips it out. Another 24. Bibby wide open. He gets it to go. Mike Bibby's the one player knocking him down. He's 3 for 3 from three-point range.
And he's the one guy in Atlanta Hawks jersey that if you're the Miami Heat, you don't want to give him a wide open shot. You have to run him off the spot because he's a knockdown shooter.
Shot clock at 7. Beasley puts it in. Michael Beasley. Boy, they need a big game for him tonight without O'Neal. Right now, he's supplying. The 20-year-old rookie, 8 points and 7 rebounds here in the first half. Bibby draws the foul. Smart play from the savvy Mike Bibby. First foul on Chalmers. Bibby will go to the line. Joe Johnson telling us today, Bibby is by far the loudest person on the Hawks. He's perfect to compliment to Johnson. Johnson is backcourt. Johnson is as quiet as they come. Bibby non-stop talking. What a big success he's been since coming to the team, but he's going to be an unrestricted free agent this summer. And he has really made the difference, part of their development last year and getting into the playoffs and taking the Celtics to 7 games this year, winning 47 games.
Well, it's key. Any combination, you got to have a guy with some substance, be solid, and then you have to have another guy that runs his mouth all the time, right, Coach?
Which am I? I think I know what you're heading to.
I don't think we figured that out yet.
Shot Buck again down to 7. Hawks defense has been better. Wade, though, kicks it out to Jones. 2 on the 24. Jones shot won't go. Joel Anthony to rebound. Shot will not count. No basket, but a foul against Pachulia. And for Pachulia, that's his third. And right now, we have not seen Al Horford. He's not expected to play with that ankle. We have seen Marvin Williams briefly. As Solomon Jones, who started the game, his first start of the season, checks in. There's Horford.
And there's no way in the world you play Al Horford in this game. Absolutely no way, unless forced, where you don't have any other choice. But you save him in case it's a Game 7.
Game 7 would be Sunday afternoon in Atlanta. Bibby with a hand in his face. Can't get that one to go. Rebound, Joel Anthony. Evans trying to make Wade work. Beasley, that's a 3. Bibby, another rebound. Bibby's got 6 rebounds here in the first half. Coming up on 4 minutes left, first half. Johnson drives past Chalmers. Smith, the offensive board, back up top. Bibby lost it, got it back. Johnson for 3. That's good. Hawks needed that one, and it's a 10-point game.
I like the energy in which Mike Bibby is playing. Rebounding the basketball, chasing down loose plays, knocking down shots.
Both teams shooting very well from three-point range. They're combined 9 for 17, the two clubs. Beasley, bumped. Shot won't go. Johnson a rebound. They're letting them play a little bit. And we thought it might be just the opposite because of all the physical play earlier in the series as Johnson nails it.
And that's poor transition defense by Miami. Poor floor balance.
7 straight points. And it's an 8-point game as we come up on 3 minutes left. And Eric Spoelstra will call a 20-second timeout. Joe Johnson starting to get it going.
Got to get back on the defensive end. You don't. Joe Johnson is a guy that will make you pay the price. Gets to his spot and then elevates.
South Florida, Dan Marino in American Airlines Arena watching the Miami Heat as their 117-point lead has been cut to 8. Again, none of these games have been close. Almost all of them. You've got your 20-point leads. And the other one that didn't have an 18-point lead. It looked like it was going to be that way again, but Atlanta's starting to come back in, Mark. What's been their key?
Well, getting stops and then scoring off of those stops. Not rushing on the offensive end. But the bottom line, it starts on the defensive end.
And I like what Bibby's done. Made big shots, fighting for loose balls. He played well. And you know what? That Weight Watchers does work. You look at Dan Marino, he looks good. He looks like he can play.
And he's in that commercial.
He is, I know.
And actually, Dan Marino is my favorite football player of all time.
So do you buy into that he didn't win a championship?
And that's just a joke.
That's straight garbage. He's as good as he's ever played that position.
You make Dan Marino the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers when Montana was there, then he has a ring. Does that make him great?
Speaking of great, Wade gets in. He said on the pass off.
That is a good segue because that move right there, that was great.
He makes him. There's Marino's jersey.
Why is that hanging here?
Dolphins played 1 season in this building.
No, seriously.
They just like to do it. Don't forget they have Michael Jordan's jersey here.
Yeah, that's a joke. That's a joke. You can't compete against somebody and then put his uniform up in the rafters.
Jones 3. Air ball right there. Beasley blocked by Smith. Another terrific rejection. Bibby knocks it away. Joe Johnson, the stutter move. Flips it up. Shot won't go. Rebound tipped and taken by Jones.
You know, by the way, I just got a text message from Dan Marino. It was Nutrisystem.
First of all, he doesn't even know you're alive. And second, as Beasley tipped it in. And again, I get mine. What does that call it? Malapropism or something like that, where you're all over the place. I can't keep stars, who they are. I don't know a weight system. All I know is he looks good.
That ends the mini run for Atlanta. Last tip in by Beasley. Smith wants it. Smith just 1 of 7 so far. Stops. Blocked by Beasley. Mike Woodson red hot as they call a 24-second violation. Smith yelling at Mark Davis, the official. Boy, Woodson red hot. A lot of arguing right now from Atlanta. Mike Woodson talked to us about composure for his team here in Game 6.
Well, Smith is struggling on the offensive end, but he is igniting them defensively. Great block here that led to another transition opportunity for Atlanta.
Is that a NASCAR term or a car racing term? Thank you, Stuart, whatever it was. Meanwhile, Miami up by 10. Let's listen to the last thought from Eric Spoelstra.
Catch your breath, guys. It's 10 points right now. Let's try to get this to 14 or 15 by the half, okay? Pace, make good decisions, defend down there, okay?
Eric Spoelstra doing a terrific job. Of course, having Dwayne Wade made a big difference, but they won 28 more games than last year. Spoelstra, as we said, the youngest coach in the NBA. He spent his whole life around the game. His father, John, was an NBA executive when he was a kid growing up in Portland. Said he always wanted to play for the Trailblazers. That didn't work out. I think his other career as a coach certainly has. As a blocking foul is called on Mo Evans. And the Hawks right now feel they're getting a bad whistle. And they've got to be careful as you look at Miami last year and this year. And I think we've had a technical foul call. Evans was really pointing at one of the officials there. And a technical foul in addition to the personal. So James Jones knocks that down. Again, Mike Woodson, he said his message to his team before the game would be keep our composure. They have not done that. And Evans losing his cool right there. You start pointing, you're definitely going to get a tech and maybe worse.
And I thought they were very patient as far as the referees, because what we just witnessed was after the first technical foul.
Yeah, and I got to not throw him out. That's good poise and composure by the officiating crew. And I think a little bit of it was he did take a very difficult call. That was a 50-50 bang-bang block charge call.
Here's the play.
That's a charge.
Yeah, that looks like a charge. Instead, Wade goes to the line again. He's 9 for 9 from the line. And the team, there's the first miss from the team as well. Anthony on the second effort, gets it to go. Joel Anthony just doing his job. His first start of the playoffs, and we have a whistle. And a defensive 3 seconds, so a technical foul. Frank Woodson uses that opportunity to have a little chat with Mark Davis. Leads back up to 14, just like Eric Spoelstra asked his team to do. Woodson's got to be careful. Evans continues to seed. That's the definition of seeding right there.
Are you playing this league long enough? Are you coaching this league long enough? You will understand that games are won or lost, closing out quarters and closing out halves. And that's the message that Eric Spoelstra was sending to his team.
That's angry.
I think it's more than seeding. Johnson can't get it to go, gets the rebound. Inside, Solomon Jones puts it in. Solomon Jones, again, he's done a solid job. 6 points, 4 rebounds. Then no Al Horford. Horford out with a sprained ankle. Now he's stressed. Don't know if he's going to play. More than likely he won't. They're a different team without him. This year he missed 15 games. They're 6 and 9 without him. Wade draws yet another foul.
But again, good strategy by Miami. Put Mike Bibby in the guarding a pick and roll. They switched. Bibby's lateral quickness is not good enough to be able to keep Wade in front of him.
And you can see, and Wade does this to a lot of teams because he gets to the line so much. The Hawks are rolling their eyes every time he gets a call. They're feeling, oh, he's getting all these calls. But his aggressiveness and his fearlessness is what that draws them.
I've rolled my eyes a few times against them, too. Believe me. You know, sometimes you don't know who's creating the contact, him or the defense.
It's another free throw coming up at half. Head to the NBA studio. Stuart Scott, Jalen Rose, Jamal Mashburn for the Toyota halftime show. The NBA's ruling on Rajon Rondo. There was no ruling. The deciding factor also in the Bulls-Celtics Game 7. One of the great playoff series that we've ever seen. And we'll talk about it coming up at halftime. Lead back to 13. Wade has 19 here in the first half. Final minute, second quarter. Johnson, Murray. Nice quick move from Murray, but he can't finish. Hawks shooting just 37% from the field. Wade the drive out to Beasley, left open. Murray the rebound. Was a dangerous pass. Wade is on Johnson. Smith, alley-oop, catches it. Back up, blocked. Ball knocked loose. Smith gets it again, and there's a foul on the floor. And again, the Hawks felt there should have been a call.
You gotta love what Joel Anthony is doing on the floor. He is making multiple effort plays. He's setting great screens. Here he's double teaming at the three-point line, sprinting back off and trying to contest the pass to make the lob pass, and then trying to go back up and contest the shot. This is great effort by Joel Anthony.
Anthony improved this summer playing for the Canadian national team. Came back here and started the 28 games. He's not going to score a ton of points for you, but that's the type of stuff he'll do. About a 3.5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Bibby foul by Anthony that time. First foul on Anthony. So free throws for Mike Bibby. Hawks have struggled from the line, 5 for 9. Sometimes you get caught up too much in arguing. Now, it's not to say that they have some legitimate beats on some of the calls, but you start looking every time the whistle's blown or not blown and get upset.
What you have to understand is it's going to balance out. There's going to be some calls that's going to go against you, and there's going to be calls that's going to go for you. That's just the way it works out. Play.
And also, it's easy to maintain your poise when it's all going well for you. Poise is about how you handle adversity. The Hawks are going to regret their poise in this first half.
Meanwhile, we talk so much about Wade. Bibby very quietly, 18 points. Bibby on the steal, and he puts it in. A momentary lapse there by Jones in the final seconds. Cuts it to 9. Beasley falling away, and that will end the first half. And a nice little momentum play from Mike Bibby and the Hawks. They fell behind by as many as 17, but they'll head to the locker room by 9. And some big individual scoring, including Bibby with 20 points, 6 of 8 from the field. And Wade, meanwhile, 19 points, 11 of those coming from the free throw line. And Wade is with Doris Burke.
Dwayne, through the first 5 games of this series, the team that got off to the best start has gone on to win. What allowed you guys to get off to such a terrific start?
Well, we came out very aggressive, going to the basket. This is coming out to be a very physical series, so every time somebody gets a basket, guys just taking fouls. So if you know that, then go down there and leave it up to the refs to call it.
In the absence of Jermaine O'Neal, what did you think of what Joel Anthony and Mike Beasley did in that first half?
Well, them guys have been stepping up all year. We miss J.O., we miss his offense in the post, we miss his shot blocking ability, but Joel and Jamal is a good mixture of athleticism and toughness down low, so we got good backup.
Dwayne, thanks very much. Mike?
All right, Doris. Anthony had 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. Michael Beasley, 10 points, 10 rebounds. The type of supporting cast effort that Eric Spoelstra desperately needed to keep his team's season alive. So our halftime show is coming up after these messages. We'll head to the studio. Stuart, Jalen, and Jamal. A lot to talk about, including the upcoming Game 7 tomorrow night between the Celtics and the Bulls. A closeout game for Atlanta, an elimination game for Miami. Right now, we've played 2 quarters. The Heat lead by 9 as they look to force a Game 7. Game 6 for Miami. The Heat down 3 games to 2 in an elimination game. Right now, at halftime, they've got a 9-point lead. And Dwayne Wade, one of the main reasons Wade has been superb here in the first half. Hi again, everyone. We're with Jeff and Mark. Mike Green on hand. We'll check in with Doris Burke in just a moment. Well, they needed a big game from Dwayne Wade. So far, so good for the Heat.
Yeah, and he's only shooting 4 for 12, so how is he playing so well? It's all about getting to the free throw line, imposing your will. The message from Wade and head coach Eric Spoelstra was aggression. Your best player sets the tone. He's turning the corner. He's not settling for the long jump shot. He's going at the basket, and when he goes at the basket, there's no one better in the game, either as a finisher or as a passer off the dribble.
And Wade putting up just superb numbers, but getting to that free throw line. He got there 13 times in Game 5, already 12 here in Game 6. Meanwhile, from Atlanta, Mike Bibby, this is his 64th career playoff game, Mark Jackson. And when he was with Sacramento, many times he was the key guy. He's doing it here for Atlanta.
Well, absolutely. He is the sole reason why the Hawks are still in this basketball game. His energy and effort from the tip-off has been contagious. You talk about knocking down shots. We all know that's what Mike Bibby does. Dribble penetration, puts the ball on the floor, gets the basket and the contact. How about extra hustle plays? Chasing down the loose ball, Joe Johnson knocking down the long ball. And then this is Mike Bibby picking up full court at the end of the half, gets the steal and the basket. Outstanding play by Bibby. Look at the consistency in the regular season and also in the postseason. But in the first half, 20 big points for the Hawks.
Just when they needed. And Josh Smith, who's their leading scorer, had a poor first half shooting the ball, but Bibby did not, including knocking down those 3-pointers.
And I really liked how Miami decided to guard Josh Smith. They did not even close out, enticing him to shoot the long jump shot.
Well, give some credit to Michael Beasley. Beasley's not known for his defense, but he did a very good job on Smith. Joe Johnson, a 3. Rebound, Solomon Jones. Jones getting the start. Ball poked away. Chalmers with his 3rd steal. Only Rondo has more steals in the playoffs than the rookie Mario Chalmers.
Active hands to chase Bibby off the spot and then comes up with the steal.
Wade. And that one was easy. A couple of dribbles, wide open jumper.
And you know, Coach talked about it earlier. If you're defending Dwayne Wade, you almost want him to hit the first jump shot. I wouldn't play him that way. If he knocks down the first jump shot, I'm thinking, uh-oh, I am in trouble because I can't defend this man.
Smith hearing the boos every time. Evans can't get the 3 to go. Haslam the rebound. Well, they had a slow start. Atlanta did the first half. Miami went up by as many as 17. The Hawks battled back, cut it to 8 at one point, and 9 at halftime. Right now it's 11. Chalmers. Joel Anthony. Nice move. The left hand. He switched it. And it's back up to 13. Mike Woodson does not like the way his team came out to begin this 3rd quarter and quickly calls a full timeout.
It's all about trusting your teammates. Chalmers on the offensive end, pick and roll, drops it off to Anthony, doing a spectacular job, setting the screen, creating the opening, and then using the opposite hand. Outstanding job by Anthony.
Dwayne Wade having a sensational game, 21 points, but Eric Spoelstra said he needed to do more than that. He needed to play at both ends for his team to win tonight.
He's a first-team all-defender, and he wants to take the challenge against their best offensive player. And it's going to be a big challenge for Dwayne, and that's why he's got to play like a Titan tonight. And he's going to have to log 43-plus minutes, create a lot of offense for us, and defend their best player, but also make things happen back there by blocking shots and stealing the ball.
During the regular season, he was 2nd in the NBA in steals behind Chris Paul. He was 16th in the NBA in block shots. Incredible for a guard to have that many block shots. Josh Smith, who has 3 block shots tonight, trying to get on track offensively, and I won't get it to go that time. And another rebound for Anthony. As Josh Smith is now 1 for 9 from the field. He's played poorly the 2 games here in Miami. Much better at home. Haslam knocks it down. Lead back up to 15.
And you talk about the little things that Joel Anthony is doing on the floor. That time sets a solid screen, knocking down Mike Bibby and creating that open.
Third quarter starting much like the first quarter. Bibby for 3. It won't go. Haslam the rebound. Haslam is pretty outspoken after game 5, talking about how guys didn't play defense the right way. And of course, one of those members who won the championship in 2006. Co-captain with Dwayne Wade. Anthony to Haslam. Back out. Chalmers for 3. Ball tipped by Johnson, picked up by Bibby.
Chalmers just has not consistently made that open spot up 3 in this series. For them to finish this off in game 7, he's going to have to be better offensively.
He's under 30% from downtown. Evans inside, blocked by Anthony. His 3rd block of the game. Anthony, a hard pick. Boy, nailed Mo Evans.
I love Joel Anthony. He is crushing people with screens.
And Evans called for travel. Joel Anthony this season averaged just 2 points and 3 rebounds a game. Here in the series, the first 5 games he had 2 total points, 5 total rebounds. Now he's doing things like setting screens, and he has 6 points, 6 boards, and 2 block shots.
See, screening, it's not a little thing. It's a huge thing. If you want to create space for your best offensive players, you have to have guys who are willing to put their body on people to create that separation. Very few really good screeners in this league.
Chalmers. Haslam again. Open shot. That time, though, contested. Anthony, another rebound. Crowd gets a little extra fired up when Joel Anthony, the spot starter, does something positive. Wade lost it, got it back, is fouled, almost went in. And Mike Bibby frustrated with that call as he picks up his 2nd personal.
And if I'm Eric Spoelstra, I make a video clip without any talking of Joel Anthony and his performance tonight. It is an absolute thing of beauty, and this is the type of energy and effort this team is going to need going into Atlanta.
Well, I bet that Spoelstra will have that done because he started his career in Miami as the video coordinator who used to put together such packages for Pat Riley when he was the head coach. And as Wade hits another free throw as we check in with Doris Burke.
Well, guys, just to follow up on your points, their theme coming in here tonight, the Miami Heat, was prove it. And under their offensive and defensive categories, they had certain things that they wanted to achieve. Joel Anthony has done a bit of everyone. He said, 1, don't settle. Let's have great spacing. Let's make your teammates better by solid screens and giving up your body. Joel has been the epitome of that tonight, guys.
Certainly so, Doris.
And, Mike, you were referencing Eric Spoelstra being the video coordinator for Pat Riley. I know from watching those guys who did that for Pat Riley, that's not an easy job. That's a long, tedious, hard job. But that's one of the reasons why he's so prepared is because he had to work so long and so hard at learning this league and its players.
Long hours, little pay. A big reward for Spoelstra. Chalmers, nice crossover. Reverse layup. He puts it in. Mario Chalmers, and the largest lead of the game for the Miami Heat. Away from the ball, and some pushing and shoving. Bibby and Chalmers, it looked like. Joel Anthony trying to get in there. Quickly, Sean Coburn. Defensively, what the Heat have done on Joe Johnson.
Follow the game plan all night long. Double team Joe Johnson. Don't allow him to get it going. Doesn't change in the second half. 1, 2, 3 defenders. Anthony stop penetration. Take the hit. Offensive foul. Second half, all of a sudden you're going the other way. Double up top. Anthony there. The zone in the back. So your job is, Anthony, don't leave until Joe Johnson tells you to leave by getting rid of the basketball. And then multiple effort plays. Your job is not finished until we secure the basketball. Gets back into play. Blocks the shot. Outstanding execution.
On the defensive 3 seconds, a technical free throw that James Jones puts in. Miami this year during the regular season, they were a good, solid defensive team. Opponents' field goal percentage about middle of the pack, but they were 5th in steals and 5th in blocks. Not an easy task for Eric Spoelstra. So many young guys. As Beasley gets to the basket, banks it in. He's got incredible hands. And this is the largest lead of the game.
And he's a scoring machine. You watched it in college. Nothing changes on this level. The ability to make plays, knock down shots, and put the ball on the floor.
Averaged 26 a game in his 1 year at Kansas State. Certainly not as much in the NBA, but he's had some big nights. Pachulia inside, gets it to go. Nice pass from Johnson.
And Atlanta's tried to downsize, putting Maurice Evans at the 4 spot. So they're trying to go small to see if they can create a tempo that can get them back in the game.
22-point game, under 2 to play in the third. Chalmers drives, flips it up and in. Tough shot. Murray, that's a 3. They were hitting their threes early, not in the second half. Just 1 for 5 here in this third quarter. Beasley against Evans. Beasley the drive. There's contact and he still puts it in. Michael Beasley, what a game he's had. 18 points and 11 rebounds. And Mike Woodson wants a time. The lead is ballooned to 26. And a standing ovation for the Miami Heat. .115 remaining, third quarter. Miami Heat dominating. Much like the series has gone, there isn't a single close game. And here we are in Game 6, looking like we're going to have a Game 7. And just an impressive performance from the Heat. Joe Johnson and the Hawks have really strung them. I know it's early. There's a minute 15 remaining in the third, Jeff. But at one point, if you're Mike Woodson, do you say, okay, I'm going to sit some of my main guys down and make sure they don't get hurt? Because I know Game 7's coming up.
At the end of the quarter, if it stays like this, you can't go on a quick 6-0, 8-0 run. Just move on.
Continue to harass Johnson. Dibby. That won't go. Tipped by Smith out to Pachulia. Murray on the drive, and Murray able to put it in. You know, Spoelstra told us, Mark, earlier today that what he wanted was his team to concentrate and be accountable on one-on-one defense. And they've really done that tonight.
They certainly have, but also help defense. I don't know if Jermaine O'Neal can get the same effort and energy on the defensive end that Joel Anthony and Jamal McLaughlin did. Double team up top and then get back into the picture. They miss him offensively, but defensively, their game has been elevated.
That's such an interesting question. Is it a one-night phenomena, or is that something that Eric Spoelstra, after reviewing this game, will go with whether O'Neal's healthy or not?
And right now they're listing O'Neal as day-to-day. It was from an elbow from Pachulia in Game 5. He suffered the concussion. Chalmers comes back in. O'Neal actually played for a short time after the elbow, but then picked up his 5th foul, had to come out of the game, and did not return. Daquan Cook for 3.
Now, see, if I'm Mike Woodson, they gave up a 3 in the first half on the same out-of-bounds play. Just because Cook missed this one doesn't make that lack of defense any more acceptable.
Johnson, nice move, crossover, left-handed, banks it in. Pretty play from Joe Johnson. Shooting numbers for Atlanta, 36% from the field and 12 turnovers. Chalmers drives off Pachulia. Beasley for 3. And that will end quarter number 3. A dominant one for the Miami Heat. They outscore Atlanta 27-14 here in the third. 20-year-old rookie Michael Beasley, the number 2 pick in the draft. His best game in the playoffs, 18 points and 11 rebounds. We head to the fourth, another blowout in this series.
Your theme for the night, Coach, was prove it. In what way through the first 3 periods did your guys do that?
Well, the energy defensively created a lot of things offensively, and we just got to continue to move the ball.
In the absence of Jermaine O'Neal, Michael Beasley has had a successful night. What's made him that?
Well, he came with the right mentality tonight to attack and to defend, most importantly.
Coach, thank you very much. Mike.
Doris spoken like a true Pat Riley disciple, and to defend, most importantly, which he doesn't always do. He's still learning how to play NBA defense, but he's done a solid job here tonight on the defensive end.
You know, and Coach and I talked about it, 22 field goal attempts, and I don't remember him taking a bad shot. He's playing within the system and really looking to be aggressive.
Very interesting. He's gone at the basket the whole night, and he has yet to shoot a free throw. It's not because he's been settling for jump shots.
We begin the fourth quarter. Can the Hawks at least make a little run? They've got their main guys out here to start quarter number 4. Again, there's no Al Horford tonight. He's suited up after spraining his ankle in game 5, hasn't played. Marvin Williams did play a little over 4 minutes, but that was it in the first half. Beasley right-handed puts it in.
Okay, I think we've seen the entire pack of the ability to put the ball on the floor with the opposite hand and finish with the right.
Gibby to Murray. Shot clock down to 8. He continued to defend with passion. Murray drive, offensive foul. Jamal McGlory draws the charge.
Defensively, you cannot get better play than Eric Spoelstra has gotten all night long from the center position. Jamal McGlory and Joel Anthony have done an outstanding job defending the Atlanta Hawks.
13th turnover for Atlanta. Woodson obviously didn't like the call, but it looked like a good one. Bibby bumps Chalmers. Right now with the chippiness that has happened in this series and the pushing and the shoving, you can bet Mark Davis, Sean Corbin, and Mark Wunderlich are going to call things very tightly here in the fourth. Wade on the pull-up, puts it in. 31.
You know, Coach, that's my problem. I'm disappointed that the Hawks did not come out and play with a sense of urgency because they almost played like they have a cushion as Joe Johnson hits the left-hander. Like there's going to be a Game 7. My concern anytime playing was I don't want to play a Game 7 when the other team has the best player. Anything can happen.
Anything can get in the way. Foul trouble, twist your ankle to start the game. There's going to be so many things that go wrong. And that's what I was talking about before, the maturity to play every possession of every game in that series.
Murray driving there. Wade went for the block. A near an ugly collision, but fortunately avoided it.
This is what's scary. This is good defense, but better offense. When you have that type of skill level, you can make something out of nothing.
His back looks pretty good tonight. He said the last couple of days receiving a lot of treatment. Felt much better. Johnson can't hit. Beasley rips down. Dozen rebounds for Beasley. And you wonder when Mike Woodson's going to put up the red flag. Or a white flag. Excuse me.
His team did that a couple hours ago.
What did you get red flag?
Wayne, a three. Unstoppable tonight. He's got 34. This is the largest lead of the game. Atlanta just 58 points. Murray misses. Again, neither team is averaging 90 in this series, both just below. This is an offensive explosion for the Heat tonight. Only 7 turnovers for Miami as well. Wade again. And Smith just shoving McGlory. And now Smith saying, come on, get him off the court.
No need for that.
And you see the Hawks upset. A lot of contact. The bottom line is this is just overpowering the Hawks. Jamal McGraw wanted the basketball more. Josh Smith shoving. Obviously frustrated.
Mike Woodson should take him out.
You know what? I've always would say, guys say, come on. Do you think he would say that if they were on the streets and there were no referees to police this?
And either of the guys to get in between? You're right. But again, why do you take a chance? You've got Game 7 coming up. What if they go at it? All of a sudden, you're out for Game 7, the biggest game of your career, and you can't play because you lost your cool.
And that's why you make a great point, Mike. You take them out of the ball game. Sometimes as a coach, you have to protect your players from themselves.
Yeah, that's a three-pointer. Flip Murray puts it in.
I did that here. I took my team out in the blowout. They came off the bench and got suspended. So sometimes there's no place to put them but in the locker room.
Still some hard picks. Smith with another foul. That's 5 on Smith. Again, all night long, the crowd has been delighting in anything negative for Smith. And I think Smith just got hit with a tackle. Yep. Josh Smith has lost his composure big time. Mike Woodson's not happy. It's all Miami Heat. And it looks like we're going to have a Game 7 on Sunday. This is the play, again, with about 4 minutes to go in Game 5. Many with the Miami Heat felt there was a hot dog, was kind of insulting, and he's been booed ever since. It's been a hot topic on the sports talk shows here in Miami the past couple of days. Smith just minutes ago shoving Jamal McGraw and picking up the technical. Yet Mike Woodson keeping him out there. He's had a horrible shooting game. He's actually done some nice things defensively. He had 3 tremendous blocks. Smith has shown some real immaturity on the court at times. That's one of the things that holds him back. Kid is such a talented player. But he lets his emotions get the best of him.
And I think it's safe to say Mike Brown and the Cavaliers get some more rest. This is not going to start until Tuesday.
And a foul on Beasley. Well, 25-point game with 8:22 remaining. Joel Anthony will return. Woodson has done a tremendous job with this team. First year he took over, they won 13 games. It was a slow improvement. Next year they won 26, then 30, then 37 last year, and finally made the playoffs. First time in a long time. This year they're 47. They got home court. Trying to win their first playoff series in 10 years, but that'll have to wait until Sunday.
You know, but you have to give Atlanta management and ownership a lot of credit for sticking with Mike Woodson in the step. So many times when there isn't instant gratification with wins, they make a change and go in a different direction so they can sell tickets under the guise of a change in leadership. Ownership for Atlanta did the right thing in sticking with Mike Woodson in his step.
Couple of blocks, 5 rebounds, and a chance of let's go Heat continue. Meanwhile, if you're Eric Spoelstra, again, Wade's been bothered by the back. When do you take him out? Why is he still on the floor right now? I'm going to call a jump ball. You've got a 25-point lead with 7:15 remaining on your star who's banged up a little bit. Let's check in with Doris Burke.
Well, guys, Eric Spoelstra was asked before the game tonight if Dwayne Wade being so-called edgy prior to the game was a good sign. He said, absolutely. He said, we've had a productive couple of days. He said, yesterday we had a Heat film session that he would describe as fiery, a back-and-forth exchange triggered mostly by his 2 captains, Dwayne Wade and Udonis Haslem. When I asked Haslem about it, guys, to see Smith get out in the open, when I asked Haslem about it, I said, what was the message for the 2 captains to the rest of the group? He said, we had game plans, and when we followed those game plans and did what we were supposed to do, and that was 1, defend, and 2, rebound, we have been able to win games in this series. They have done both tonight, guys, and they are winning Game 6 again.
By 23, there's been another blowout. Meanwhile, Josh Smith Nice job that time, getting off the shot after getting wrapped around. He's got a chance for a three-point play. A rare shot that went in for Smith. He's really struggled here tonight. 3 of 13. Goes to the bench.
I had a chance to talk to Dwayne Wade's brother before the game, and he said, hey, fasten your seatbelt because my brother's going to put on the show today. He said he saw it in his eyes, and he did not disappoint. And I think the reason why Eric Spoelstra still has him in the game, there's still plenty of time in this ballgame. It's not like you're keeping your star in the game. I think you want to make sure that there's not another run left in the Atlanta.
Still have 6.5 to go. I think in some ways, if you're both teams, that clock can't move fast enough.
I think it's safe to say now, if you're Eric Spoelstra, it's time to get Dwayne Wade out of the ball game.
Offensive foul. Pachulia lowers the left shoulder. Atlanta Hawks were in this situation last year, first round. As Wade never looked at just a spectacular move. Remember last year the Hawks, 7 games against the Celtics, a little different though. Their game 7 was on the road against the best team in basketball. This year, they'll have home court on Sunday. Smith is done for the night.
This is the patience that they have to play with on the offensive end to give themselves a chance to win on Sunday. Every trip down the floor.
His playoff career high is 43. That was game 5 of the finals against Dallas. Had a couple of good games in that series. I recall.
I think it was the best 4-game run I have ever seen in a championship series.
He's got 41 tonight, helping his team force a game 7 on Sunday. Chalmers with his 4th steal.
I really believe that the mentality for the Atlanta Hawks is you've earned the right to have a deciding game in your building. But it's not just going to happen. You have to come ready to play and make the proper adjustments.
Wade stays in the game. Fires the 3. That won't go. Yeah, Eric Spoelstra, as we said, in the Heat, they were a little upset with that Josh Smith dunk when they were getting clobbered the other night. Dwayne Wade in while they're clobbering Atlanta. He's probably done for the night, though. But what a night for Wade. 41 points. A blowout victory for the Miami Heat. Wade spectacular off the court that day, and he has been spectacular on the court here tonight.
And you talk about extra effort plays. Offensively, he attacks the offensive board, but the commitment to get back and not give up an inch. Spectacular job of hustling down the floor. Says to Flip Murray, not on my watch. And then inside-outside attack, stops on a dime, flies through the air, takes the spill out of bounds. The fans loving it. Once again, inside-outside, takes the contact, the runner over Joe Johnson. It has been a clinic offensively for Dwayne Wade.
And he stays in the game. I'm really surprised at this, guys.
I'm very surprised at it also. There's no way Dwayne Wade would still be in the game if I was coaching. The only answer I can get trying to figure out why, as he commits a foul, Eric Spoelstra wants him to lead to an ovation.
He's going to get it. Points, 5 rebounds, didn't have a turnover. That's his first foul. Pachulia, and he's fouled. So he leads with a 29-point lead, just under 5.5 remaining. What a sensational regular season he had. In this series, it has not been easy for him. Came in shooting just 44%. Still averaging over 26 a game. Right from the start tonight, Pachulia hits the first.
And if I was Eric Spoelstra, I would also test the knowledge of the fans here in Miami. In about a minute or so, I would get Joel Anthony out of the ball game and see if they acknowledge him the same way, because his performance has been just as effective.
They needed it from Anthony.
Hold on. You can't say it's the same impact on the game.
I am absolutely shocked.
No, I appreciate it, but it's not the same as a guy getting 40 and totally dominating the game at the offensive end.
Easily puts it in.
Joel L. Anthony has dominated his aspect of the game of basketball tonight on both ends of the floor. It is a thing of beauty, and I am ashamed that I've been in film sessions when you would have pointed the finger at him being the reason why we won this ball.
And no doubt, it's like my power forward in Houston, Chuck Hayes. I praise him in film, but if I had to sacrifice somebody for injury, he'd have to be the first to go. You got to have offense on the floor to win this game. Believe me, when they go to Atlanta on Sunday, they need Dwayne Wade to put together a road game like he did tonight, and Joel Anthony.
Chalmers hits it. Well, what you could probably say is Anthony filled his role what he was required to do tonight, as well as what Wade was required to do.
Mike, I don't need you to remix what I said. That's exactly what I said. Just say I agree with you.
No, you can't agree with that. Is a remix, by the way, now that I know what that means. But listen, that goal, I agree. Look at it on the floor in a 30-point game. This guy has had a major impact.
I'm looking in your eyes right now. You really want to say, you're right. Okay, go ahead.
No, I don't want to say you're right. I want to say Dwayne Wade, hey, good screen. Oh, and he's going to the rim like Dwayne Wade. And I like when you knock somebody down. Good hustle back after a trap and then another solid screen.
6 points, 8 rebounds, 3 block shots. A lot of good screens. And playing 34 minutes, he came in. He had only played 31 minutes in the first 5 games.
Hey, you think about it. Canada's proud tonight of their 2 centers, McGlure and Joel Anthony.
Anthony from Montreal, McGlure from Toronto, as we're under 4 minutes remaining.
Is Joel Anthony on the Canadian national team?
Yes, he played the summer for him.
Should be.
Have you been scouting the Canadian big men lately?
Other than Steve Nash. Leo Rollins does a good job with that team.
You just covered all the bases tonight.
You're dangerous with a little information.
And he was one of my favorite players growing up in Rochester when he played at Syracuse.
Chalmers lost it. Picked up by Mario West. 6th straight game will be decided by double figures. Another blowout. Pachulia puts it in. Atlanta briefly had a lead. They led by 1 earlier. And another game, and the entire series, there hasn't been a lead change after this first quarter, after the first quarter in the entire series. Timeout with just over 3 remaining. Miami Heat forced to game 7. Dominant performance from the Miami Heat. They're ready to tie the series at 3 games apiece. Just over 3 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter from Miami. Coming up next on ESPN Sports Center, John Anderson and Scott Van Pelt. You can certainly see highlights of Dwayne Wade's performance tonight, plus the preview of the Bulls and the Celtics. NFL minicamps are open. And baseball history. See if Andy Pettitte and Mariano Rivera can make baseball history. I don't know what that is, Yankee fan Mark Jackson.
Well, it's actually the amount of saves that Mariano Rivera has done with Andy Pettitte's victory.
Meanwhile, another blowout game where one team started off strong and never looked back. There has not been a lead change after the first quarter of this entire series. Again, Miami led by as many as 30 in this game. I don't ever remember a 7-game series having one blowout after another like this.
Yeah. The Boston Celtics, Chicago Bulls is one of the all-time greats. This is one of the all-time worst. It really is. It's just blowout after blowout, teams not playing well.
And the thing is, I mean, it's a 4 and 5 series, so they're evenly matched. And it's not even like, okay, they dominated on the home court. Atlanta won here in Miami. Miami won in Atlanta. It's kind of perplexing in how it's turned out like this. Again, both teams are young. We said the Atlanta Hawks, one of the younger teams. The Heat rely on a bunch of first and second year players, so that might have some explanation.
Well, I think it's some sort of an explanation for the Heat when you talk about being young and just having Dwayne Wade. But the Atlanta Hawks, they are fresh off of playoff basketball last year, an intense series. This is inexcusable to be inconsistent.
Just over 2 minutes remaining. Both coaches have now emptied the benches. I am just, I'm dying to see what happens on Sunday in terms of, do we finally get a close game in this series? You'd expect that. Certainly a lot depends on who's healthy to play. Jermaine O'Neal, will he play on Sunday? This tonight with the concussion, as Evans misses. Al Horford, so vital. Horford, a real key component for Atlanta. Will he play on Sunday with that sprained ankle? West, nice move, flips it in. Marvin Williams did play briefly today. There's Horford, suited up but didn't get in. Williams, who missed the last 3 games, played about 4 minutes. So
I'm sure we're going to see a different Atlanta Hawk team in their home building. Crowd going crazy. It should be an exciting one on Sunday.
Yeah, but why does it matter when people are screaming? How do you know who it's for if you're a player? Well, why would that have such an impact?
It's just the way that it is.
But why? I don't get it. How can you even hear that when you're playing? As a guy playing on the court, were you ever cognizant of the crowd when you're on the road?
Oh, absolutely. I use that as motivation the same way I used it at home.
It didn't make you play worse, though.
No, absolutely not. Did it make you coach worse?
Well, some would say it didn't matter where I coached. It wasn't real good.
Foul on Jones. So our statistician Dave Freed just handed me a note. 1970, Lakers and Phoenix in the Western Conference semifinals. All 7 games were decided by double figures. The Lakers won 4 games to 3. So there you go.
And we'll put that under the heading, who cares, Dave Freed, okay? Give us something pertinent or don't give us anything at all.
I think
that's not pertinent.
Come on. This is the free throw.
I mean, is there a side of you that says, let me say something nice?
No, I'll say something nice. How about the Houston Rockets? Did a great job winning, and Tracy McGrady finally got off the snide and winning a first-round series. No, you have to give him that. You can't. He was part of the team. I don't want to hear it anymore.
No,
I don't want to hear that anymore about McGrady not getting out of the first round.
Are you serious? You can't even say that with a straight face.
That's my guy.
Obviously. Meanwhile, the Eastern Conference will have 2 7-game series. In the first round, a Game 7 tomorrow with Boston and Chicago. That game on TNT. And then we'll have Game 7 in Atlanta on ABC, 1 Eastern time on Sunday afternoon. Dominant performance from Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat. And this series is all tied at 3 games apiece. .3, a rough night for Josh Smith and the Atlanta Hawks. Let's check in with Doris.
Dwayne, Eric Spoelstra said before the game that the theme, his message was for you guys to prove it. In what way did you guys accomplish that tonight?
I think from the beginning of the game, we came out very aggressive, and everybody was involved, and we won this game with a defensive end. We took care of our rebound, and that's what we had to do.
On the road against Atlanta, you've already proven you can win there. How do you carry over what you accomplished tonight when you arrive there on Sunday?
Well, both teams are going to be desperate. You know, it's the last game for somebody. We're going to go out there and give it all. No pressure on us. We're the underdogs in this series. So, you know, if we can get the same production out of our bench that we got tonight, then we'll be fine.
Dwayne, thank you.